Thank you, Tamron, for lending me this lens. Nice. How's it going, everyone? This is Kevin. Today I want to bring along with me to test out the Tamron 50-400mm. So let's jump right into it. I've never really shot with a telephoto lens in the aspect of greater than 180 since I used to own the Tamron 70-180 and obviously I have the 35-150. I reached out to Tamron to ask him if I could get a loaner lens for the 50-400 because I wanted to do a little bit more of a telephoto lens to see what am I missing and to kind of showcase it to you guys what you can do with this lens as well. Now I have a couple video ideas that I'll be doing with this lens to bring out a couple videos for you guys, so this is probably, I guess, the part one of it. I don't know how many parts it'll be, but there are different scenarios that I would want to do. But as you're seeing this, you have an idea that you want me to try out while I still have this lens, make sure to leave a comment down below and I would love to answer any other questions that you might have or try out any scenarios that I can while loaning this lens. See, for me, shooting telephoto lenses has been something that I never really thought I would want to do or want to get into as much, but the more I started seeing other people's photography when it comes down to a more telephoto setup, I kind of thought to myself, am I missing something? So I'm kind of glad that Tamron was very kind of them to be able to send me this lens to test it out and just kind of give my input and reviews on it to see what I can use it for, who could it be for, and what is it not usable for. See, I already have a couple ideas that I want to put this lens through testing and just kind of see what it's like, but right now I want to take it out first out of the box to see what it looks like in person. So this is the 50-400 f 4.5 to 6.3. Pretty nice so far. Hold on one second. I want to get my 35-150 to kind of compare the size of them so that way you guys know as well how big of a telephoto lens this is. Now we're back with the 35-150. These are the two lenses right here. Yeah, gotta take the lens cap. Lens caps never really are my thing. I know people use them. I mean, probably should use them more, but yeah. I mean, the only reason there's like much height difference right now is really just because I see that it's just where like the lens, like the cap and everything like that kind of sticks out more. And I would hope that this telephoto lens is a little bit bigger since it has way more focal range. One of the things that I thought that is just great to learn more about a telephoto lens is just kind of seeing what you can get out of it. Can you do street photography? Can you do more wildlife photography only? Sports? What is it good for and what can you take advantage of using it for? For me, honestly, the 35-150 has been a great lens that I can use for anything that I want to. Granted, I don't get a telephoto zoom from the 150 and beyond because, well, it's limited. But am I really missing out with more focal range? Am I going to fall in love with a telephoto lens that I would want to get this for myself to shoot more often with it? We're gonna find out today together. So let's go ahead and see what this bad boy can do. So now we're out here in the area where we live with some buildings, because I want to try to do a little bit of compression with the buildings behind her for some portraits. And I'm gonna, kind of show you how the zoom range of this lens works out, as well as simply just taking portraits and just maybe kind of taking like a story set of photos of random things to make just kind of a little story with it, if you will. But we're gonna see how it turns out. Yeah, so go that way and I'll tell you to keep walking. So I'm gonna try to take a different focal length. Those were the first few test shots with this setup. Obviously, since it's a little bit of a variable aperture with the 4.5 to 6.3, I'm just keeping it on aperture priority because that way we can try to keep everything as much as equal as possible, so that way we have some nice good footage with photos and video, and that way I can show you guys what it looks like, just in case you're kind of wondering to use this for some video as well. But the main thing that I would usually maybe use this for a little bit more would be just for kind of wildlife and or sport photography. But today I want to do the portrait photography, see how it looks. Then another day I'm going to do for another video the sport, and then another one for like kind of like wildlife landscape. So be on the lookout for those whenever I do film them and share them with you guys. But we're going to find other locations to take some more portraits. One of the things that I want to test out for kind of portraits, since with a telephoto lens it's more for the compression side, not really focus on the 50 range and the lower end of that. For me, it's focusing on like the 200 and above, since I have shot with a 70-180 and the 35-150. So the 50 and above I don't really care to focus on. So we're here for the telephoto compression for portraits. So we're going to take a bit of portraits of her over there with the building behind her, try to line her up to get some nice compression. So we'll find out how it goes. Dunskies with those. See, there's something really cool about the compression of a telephoto when it comes down to portraits. It's something because of the separation of the background with the person and subject, but kind of bringing them close together as well. It's something that I kind of think is really cool. Like looking at some of these photos and videos, it's just relatively cool to see just the facial features and then the background just there. It's something nice. So we're gonna do a full body portrait at 400mm, because I think doing that and having her be all the way over there, it's gonna look cool. Apparently I can't speak English, but let's set this up, and I think we might be good, because if you see her all the way over there, she's all the way over there, and we're gonna just try this out. So we'll see how it goes. Well, done taking a bit of portraits. The weather isn't the best, so we've done what we can for today's video, but we're gonna go back to the house so I can give you my final thoughts and be in a better environment than here. We're back from taking photos and videos with this lens for portraits today. That was the main thing to do with this lens, since I know I've been asked if having a more telephoto lens is something more beneficial than maybe getting a 35-150. What about a 50-400 like this? Despite of it having an f4.5 to 6.3, does it really matter for that shallow depth of field and bokeh and everything like that? Well, as you saw, most of these photos have that good compression with the good bokeh, even though they're shot at 6.3 f-stop or sometimes 4.5 or 5 point something, because of the compression of the telephoto lens. So that's one of the reasons why it's still fine to use, and I don't think you're gonna be missing out on anything, whether it's a 2.8 or something. Would it be nicer to have that 2.8? Probably, but then you're not looking at this lens, you're looking at something more expensive, probably bulkier, and that's gonna be ultimately up to you. So who is this lens for? So is this lens for portraits? Yes and no, it all depends. Obviously, once again, what you wanna use it for and what kind of compression you're trying to go for, how much separation of the background you're trying to get. Are you trying to have more full body portraits? Are you trying to do more kind of headshot style portraits that you wanna have that compression but not too much of the background? That all depends to you. For me personally, I think it's a really cool setup to have. It's not something that it would be incredibly useful all the time. To be honest, for portraits, I think you're better off with a 35-150 or even a 28-75, something along those lines, because you get that compression with a little bit more in the telephoto lens part with maybe the 70 range of the 20-75, or the 35-150. You have a really good range for portraits, but it's still pretty fun to use this lens for a little bit of portraits and seeing that compression, just because it looks so creamy and just smooth to me, that I think it's beneficial to just have one because it's kind of fun to do. And depending on what you're trying to do, if you need to have a subject far away, well, this is always great for that. So far I've been enjoying using this 50-400. I like the diversity of the range that you can get, so it's kind of cool. I know people have, I think, the 28-300 of Tamron, and they say it's really nice because you obviously get that wideness and everything, so having that compression is kind of cool. But for me, it's not something that I would want to, like, you know, have a 28-300 for what I would need for the most part, but at least a 50-400 looks kind of cool. I'm excited to test it out for a little bit more of that landscape and kind of wildlife photography, and also for sports photography. So I'll be working on those videos for you guys, and if you have any other suggestions that you would like me to use it for, leave a comment down below. Would love to know what you would like me to cover using this lens, because maybe you're interested in getting this lens for yourself, and maybe it'll help you out with what I use it for and how I use it, and maybe it's something that you might consider. But I also plan to do a little bit of POV street photography with it, since I haven't done a POV street photography video in quite a while, and I think it'd be kind of cool to get that nice compression with the 400 from people farther away that I couldn't get with my 35-150. So that's another video that I think would be kind of cool to do. But other than that, yeah, I'm excited to keep using this out. I'm thankful that Tamron was able to loan me this lens to put it through some testing and answer a lot of the questions that you guys have been, you know, giving me when it comes down to whether it was for portraits or how it is for sports photography, which telephoto lens to use. So I'm excited to get those videos out for you guys. But yeah, really cool. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.